welcome to another episode of Truthfully Evolving, where we spill the truth and nothing but the truth. So, in today's episode of Truthfully Evolving, we'll be talking about unhealed trauma. Okay, and let me start by saying this, right? The best gift you can give to yourself, the most precious gift you can give to yourself, is loving yourself. And when I talk about loving yourself, I don't mean loving just who you are on the outside. I mean loving and nurturing yourself on a soul level. You see, the problem here is many people, and this is not to call anybody short, okay? For me, I believe that if you have it, flaunt it. But I feel like many of us focus so much um on the outside, on the exterior work. We focus so much on how we look on the outside, which is, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm saying, like, you need to understand that when you focus so much on the outside and you neglect the inside, you've not really done any work. The problem with humans, the problem with us, is we tend to feed our ego and we starve our soul. So we feed our ego wants and we starve our soul needs. And this is where there is a disalignment, because we try so hard to focus on the outside, on the exterior part of ourselves, and we neglect the interior part of ourselves, where the main work is. You see, we focus so much on looking good on the outside, looking good on wearing good clothes, wearing good expensive things on the outside, and then on our soul level, there is this missing piece. There is something that is missing that we need to connect. It's like a puzzle that needs to just need a piece to complete, to have meaning. So what I realize is, in my journey, right, this life journey, I realized that it's not the people, it is the trauma that makes the people. It's the trauma that makes a person, that makes an individual. Okay, and it's crazy, but let me say this. Many people might not like what I want to say, but I have to say this, right? We are so keen on condemning, or we're so keen on calling the devil, praying against the devil. If only we knew that we are our own devil, we are our own enemy, where we've made ourselves vulnerable to things that we ought to have control over. Okay, if you are someone that you have pain, you've drugged yourself in pain, in addiction, in envy, in jealousy, in hatred, think of anything that puts you on a low vibration. Think of anything that reduces you. Think of anything that makes you think lower of yourself, low self-esteem, just anything, jealousy, whatever that puts you on a low vibration. Those things are, how do I even explain this right now for you to understand? I want you to grasp this in a better way, right? It's like if you have all of these things in you as a person, right, it molds into a spirit that is higher than yourself. This is not your higher self. This is a self. This is a part of yourself that you've allowed to accumulate in you. You've given so many rooms for. So now it has become part of you. So you don't even know who your true self is, and you don't know what is controlling you. I don't know if that makes sense. So when you have this unhealed part of yourself that you've not faced, that unhealed part of yourself that you refuse to face, that demon in you, because it's crazy how we're so quick to say, oh, the demon is after me, the enemy is after me, but when you look deep within, when you look within yourself, you see that the demon that you're casting out on the outside is something that you created on the inside of you. The demon that you're casting and you're binding is something that you've allowed, you've made yourself vulnerable enough for it to have access to you. Many people are in churches. I have to use the church to be honest, because I've seen many things happening there. Many people are in churches where you say you go to church, you serve God, you read your Bible. How do you feel on the inside? How do you look at people? How do you look at yourself? How do you treat yourself? How do you treat people? If you have hatred in you, you have, like, that's called the spirit of hatred. You have jealousy, it's a spirit. Remember, like I always say this, we are all spirit. Imagine you walking around as a spirit, in spirit form. It won't make sense. But God had to give us this body. Your name, your age. It's just a title, it's just a tag. So it's not appropriate for you to focus so much on this material world. Okay, don't forget yourself in the process of finding yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't get lost in the process of finding yourself. If you're looking for money, for instance, don't get lost in that process where you forget your true self, where you don't know when or how to return back to your home, which is yourself, your body, your temple. We tend to blame something on the outside, the exterior, when because we've refused, bluntly refused to work on the inside. We've refused to face our demon. If you have spirit of anger, this is the part of you that you need to look and say, I want to fix this, I want to be better, I don't like this, I want to look at this part of myself and say, I want to work on it. Many people are just saying, oh, that's who I am, that's who I've always been, that's how, oh, because I'm a Leo, I'm a this. You attach zodiac to things that you're meant to work on. You see, I'm not against people doing what they're doing, but the problem is the intent in which they do what they do. How would you feel if you do something to somebody that will hurt somebody? How would you feel if someone should do that to you? That's what you need to look at first of all. The trauma that you allowed to own you is the demon that is inside of you that you need to fight, that you need to face. Stop fighting the devil outside. Fight the devil in you, within you. Let go of hatred, let go of malice, let go of jealousy, let go of envy, let go of low self-esteem, let go of those things that makes you vibrate low. I don't see people for who they are. It's the spirit that is behind the person. So your anger or your frustration should not be towards the person. It should be towards the spirits that they've allowed, that they've given space, that they've made room for. Ask yourself this question: am I truly ready? Because sometimes you think you're ready, but you're not ready. Before you go into any relationship, before you have any sexual intercourse with anybody, before you do any commitment, before you make the vow, you need to go through the healing process. You need to heal. What part of yourself are you not happy with? What part of yourself do you feel like you need to work on? What part of yourself that you're scared to face, you're afraid to come in contact with? What part of yourself, what part of yourself are you not proud of? The first thing is to embrace who you are. That's the number one. When you embrace who you are, and I mean who you truly are on the soul level, embrace your flaws, embrace your dark side, embrace every part of you, every core of your being. Embrace it, because it's by embracing it that's when the portal of healing opens up to you. If you love every part of yourself, you love your insecurities, you love your pain, you love every part of yourself, you love your flaws, automatically there is this doorway of healing that comes to you. But when you don't love yourself, when you hate yourself, when you detest yourself, that's the energy that you're putting outside, and that's the energy you get in return, and you block the doorway for healing. Healing won't even come to you. So first of all, you have to recognize that there is something wrong with you that you need to fix. And I say this all the time: if you don't see that there is a problem, that's where the actual problem is. You need to recognize and realize that there is actually something wrong with you that you need to fix. That's where you start healing. That's where the healing starts from. Because many people feel like, oh, if I'm in this relationship, I'll be happy. If I'm in this relationship, I'll find peace of mind. But that's not the case. When you go into that relationship having that mindset of thinking that relationship will heal you, the relationship will ruin you, and you become disappointed. And then you ask yourself, why is it that I end up with the same people, or everybody's the same, or why do I have to end up in the same situation? That's because you've not gone through the healing process. So if you're single, this is the time for you to go through the healing process. You need to heal every part of yourself. Let me use me for instance. I looked at myself. I was in a relationship that was really, really amazing. It was amazing, okay, but I knew that there was something wrong. I knew that I had like inner child trauma that I needed to heal, and that came from a place of because I had this suppressed feeling that in the past, like as a child, I wasn't given that platform to speak my truth. I wasn't given that platform to say what I have to say. Every time I want to say something, somebody tends to shut me up. So I had that feeling suppressed inside of me. So when I was in a relationship, right, the anger, the pain, I didn't know that was what I was doing, but the pain, the inability for me to speak up, I had to transfer that to my partner. So every little opportunity I had, I didn't want him to speak. I was always in the hurry. I was in a hurry. I was always, I felt the need to speak all the time. Even when I had to say the wrong thing, I just felt the need to speak. I didn't give this person the opportunity to express themselves. And when that relationship ended, it taught me that I needed to fix that part of myself. I was someone that had so much um, anger issues. I still do, but that's like part of me that I've learned to suppress. Okay, that's the demon part of me that I learned to deal with, right? So you need to look within yourself and ask yourself certain questions. Ask yourself, what is it that I am not seeing that I'm meant to see? So when you look at yourself and you analyze yourself in that state, right, you start opening yourself to changes. So don't be in a hurry to be in a relationship. Don't be in a hurry to get married. Fix yourself, because what happens is we have unhealed parents. We have unhealed parents. These Our parents had to go through series of trauma, and this is not even from them. It's from like our ancestors that held on to slavery, the anger, the anguish that they felt during that slavery, what they went through, the experience. They couldn't speak their truth. They couldn't speak up for themselves. They tried. They fought, but it was like they every time they tried to stand up, they were being pulled down. So when they passed on, we, being the carrier of their DNA, their bloodline, we still have all of those suppressed feelings in us. So when you look at yourself and say you are your ancestors' bloodline, that's what people say, in quote unquote, generational curse. I know generational curse is it's a spiritual thing, but you also need to understand that these are traumas that our ancestors could not face, they could not fix, and now we, coming from the same bloodline, we had to experience that, because that's like the unhealed part of themselves that they refuse to face, and now we are carriers of that through the bloodline that we share. And now we are experiencing that, and for us to shed that part of us, that's us breaking generational curses. That's what you need to know. Generational curses is our ancestors having so much in them that they could not fix, and leaving that unfixed, unhealed part of themselves, and we, being a carrier, having their DNA, their bloodline, we tend to experience the same thing that they experienced. And it is in our own voice, in our own time, that we tend to tell ourselves the truth and tell ourselves that this is something that I don't want to continue. This could be addiction to smoking, to drinking. This could be cheating. This could be anything. That's what it's called, generational curse. If you are a generational curse breaker, you need to understand that you're standing in the gap for your ancestors. You're the one that you're meant to break those things that they could not break. You are meant to heal the unhealed part of themselves. That's who a generational curse breaker is, saying, I don't want this, I don't like what is happening, I want to make a change, I want a change in my time. And when you do that, changes happen for you. Many of us we are going through things, not because we know what we don't know why we're going through what we're going through, but you need to understand that these are the strings of your ancestors, and you need to fix it. You need to break it. You need to cut the chains. You need to. And when you understand that sex is a transfer of energy, okay, you understand that whatever you're creating in this time, in this lifetime, it's a replica of who you are. Not the face, not the gene, the blood. And it comes with everything that you experience. It comes with your trauma, it comes with your baggages, that's what it is. That's how generational curses continue, lineage to lineage, lines after lines, bloods after bloods, because that's where somebody refused to recognize that this is a problem. So when they give birth to their child, the child also goes through with the same process, and it goes on and on and on until one person says, this is something that is wrong, I want to fix that. That's who you call the generational curse breaker. That's who you refer to, quote unquote, chosen one. So before you get married, before you have sex with anybody, before you say I do to anybody, you need to heal that part of yourself. You need to break the chains So as a parent, if there's any part of yourself that you've not healed, you need to go within and heal that part of yourself. You just need to look at that part of yourself that you don't want to face, address it, face it, and heal. That way, when you reproduce, when you bring forth any child into this world, you are bringing a healed child, not an unhealed child. So that's what I need to let you know. Heal. Healing starts from you. Healing is something that you have to do within, not without. Don't say when I'm married I'll be healed, when I have a child I will heal. No. Ask the divine to heal every part of yourself, your core self. When you heal within, you see the world in a different way, with a different approach. But first of all, the journey to self healing is recognizing that there is a problem. So whoever needed to hear that, okay, I'm sending you healing, and I ask that the divine help you heal as well. Okay, this journey will take a lot from you, but you have to fight through. This journey will make you look like a weakling, but you have to be determined to walk through the process. Okay, healing comes from within, not without. So till next time, divine blessings.